All right, welcome. Tonight we are going to do a tier list of cartoons and a ton of cartoons. Found this tier list of 500 plus cartoons. A lot of them I haven't heard of. I was going to do some pre work and filter them out, but I figured I'd just explain the ones I haven't seen. And then I added some to the bottom, not a lot, but just a few that I either had watched or knew I'd watched and didn't see in the list. Um, some of them more or less were like Japanese anime or something like that was on Cartoon Network when I was growing up. Um, so a little background: watched a lot of cartoons as a kid. That was back in the day when you had to actually sit and watch it at the time that it was on TV. And if you missed it, you missed that episode. You probably were never going to see it, or at least back then we thought we'd never get to see it unless you were able to find a VHS tape of it or find it at the library or something like that. And there were some of these where they were some of my favorite shows, but I didn't even see all of it. And I still struggle to even find some of them on streaming. So I'm sure there's some I haven't seen all of. But I definitely have some categories here that are, I think, probably the right categories for how I'm going to classify these. Uh, going to have favorites, obviously the best of the best things I could rewatch, things that I know a lot in my head. Awesome are really, really great shows. Like, really enjoyed them, but probably just not quite to my favorite level of favorites. Then we've got barely not awesome. These are really enjoyable shows. Like, I would watch it and enjoy it. Totally, totally good. And then cool enough. I have our watchable. Like, I would sit and just have it on in the background and not pay too much attention, but I wouldn't have an issue watching it. Um, Dull. I don't know if this is the right way to describe it, but it's essentially like those I couldn't get into, or not the best. But if I was on, I'd just probably have it on in the background, not pay much attention to it at all. So not terrible, but maybe just not my the thing I'd want to watch. And then kind of bad. Those are the ones that if I had it on, I'd turn it off or didn't watch a ton of because I just didn't like it when I started to watch it. And then for those that I haven't seen, I did split out some different categories. So I've heard about it, like somebody said it. It could be an iconic show that I just never saw, for example, and that I would watch it if I wanted to take the time. I would sit and do it. Heard about it and wouldn't watch, or those that's like I heard it but I intentionally didn't watch, don't care to watch, and then never heard of it, are obviously those I've never heard of. So I'll try to go through those pretty quickly to be the first thing. This will be a long video, I'm sure, and I may have to split it up into parts, but we'll see as we go along. As you see down here, there are a ton of them. I think I will have to pin this maybe to help keep it in a spot. Yeah. Um, so we'll start with these bottom few categories here. The heard about watch. I'll just go through each one. I'll probably have to look over here at my bigger monitor because some of these are real small and I don't recognize all of them. But I will do my best to look back here. Uh, all right, I'm going to try to go somewhat quickly here. And if there are some you're like, have you not seen that? You can throw it in the comments. 101 Dalmatian Street. I know 101 Dalmatians. Did not know there was a cartoon. Looks newer. Uh, this is going to be a little tricky, I think. There's going to be a lot that have multiple shows. Spider Man's going to be one of them. Batman, Scooby Doo. I think I can tell most of them based off of the front, but like Spider Man, this one I'm not so sure. I think this was like a 60s one. There's an 80s one that's probably farther down. Spider Man, His Amazing Friends is different. So if there's like one where I know it's probably covered somewhere else and it's just a continuation of it, I'll move it into like never heard of it, even though I may have heard of it, or wouldn't watch or something like that. But Spider Man is different. So like this is the original show, I think. So I'll leave that. Two Stupid Dogs. I've seen DuckTales. I've seen enough of the newer one to know. Peppa Pig. I have not seen. I've heard of it. I probably wouldn't watch it. There are going to be some of these too that are like kids shows, young kids shows that I would actually find watchable or enjoyable. That are totally fine. They're not something I maybe watch just by myself, but if I was in the right environment, I'd watch. Now, obviously, if you're watching with kids, you watch anyway, but Peppa Pig's one that I would probably not like gravitate to, but I don't know much about it. 16, never heard of it. 7D, never heard of it. DuckTales, I've heard of. A pup named Scooby Doo, and DuckTales, I should say, I've seen. Scooby Doo, I've seen. Real Monsters, I have heard of. I don't know anything about it. I probably wouldn't actively go watch it. All right, Ace Ventura, I have not seen it. I would probably watch it. I enjoyed the movie. Thought it was funny growing up. It's always weird when those movies turn into like kids shows or cartoons. So I don't know how good that show is, but I'd probably give it a chance. Adventure Beast, never heard of. Adventure Time, I have not really seen. I've heard about it. I would watch it. The tiny bit that I did see is like, okay, it's got some like adult humor and some other things that are kind of funny. Um, The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know if this is the 90s version of that show. I may come back down and pull it up. It doesn't look the exact same. So, like, Tails looks different. And that's maybe why I'm thinking this is newer or something. In which case, I haven't heard of it. But I'll remember that it's there in case I got to come back up. Because there is a 90s show that I do remember. Gummy Bears, I've seen. Agent Elvis, never heard of it. Aladdin, seen the movie, did not know that there was a cartoon. Um, the all new Super Friends Hour, that's a continuation of Super Friends. Super Friends is going to be down there. So I'm just going to put it like in the Would Watch section. Uh, Almost Naked Animals, never heard of it and probably wouldn't watch it. Alvin and the Chipmunks have seen. Amazing World of Gumball, never heard of it. I don't think. Right. American Dad, I've seen. Something Jake Long, don't recognize that at all. Amphibia, don't recognize. Angela Anaconda, don't recognize. I won't care too much about keeping these in order either. The Angry Beavers, I feel like I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. Probably wouldn't watch it. Uh, why are there two Animaniacs? Oh, this looks like a newer season of it. I'd actually never heard of this version, but it's a continuation, I'm sure, of the original show, which I have seen. So we'll come back to that. Apple and Onion, never heard of it. Aqua Teen, I've seen. Arabian Nights. I haven't seen a lot of it, but I've seen it enough. Arcane, never heard of it. Archer, I've seen. Arthur, yes. As Told by Ginger? No, never heard of that. Adamant, yes. Atomic Betty, I think that's what it says. No. Avengers Assemble, I get some of those Avengers shows mixed up, but I'm pretty sure I've seen that one. And then, yeah, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I definitely have seen. Baby Looney Tunes, I've seen a little bit of. Back of the Barnyard, never heard of it. Back to the Future, I remember that a little bit. Banana Man, never heard of it. Bananas in Pajamas. I've heard of Bananas in Pajamas. I don't know if I've heard of the cartoon. I feel like it was toys or something, but I've never heard enough to know it was a cartoon. Bat Pat? Bat Pat? No. Batman Beyond, yes. Batman Brave and the Bold, yes. Batman the Animated Series, yes. Baymax. Did not know it was a cartoon. No, it was a movie, Big Hero 6, but not the cartoon. Be Cool Scooby Doo, never heard of that version of it. Beast Wars, that's Transformers, yes. Beavis and Butthead, yes. Bee and the Puppy Cat, no. A lot of Ben 10 shows. So I only know of like the original Ben 10. I never watched it, but I would probably give it a chance. I think it's where he transforms and does some stuff with what he wears, but I'd give it a chance. The others I'll just put as I've never heard of because I don't know the different versions. Looks like that's a kiddie version, maybe a more adult alien version, and I got to be careful because some of these get pulled up here. Okay, Berenstain Bears. Yeah, I mean, I that's one I used to watch like VHSs of. I don't know if I remember the difference between the VHS like movies versus the show. Maybe they're the same, but I do remember enough of the show. I don't know what. There's a The Batman show. I think I've seen a little bit of. Um, Not much, but I don't know if that's it. I'll go ahead and put this in the like. I'd give it a try. I don't know what version it is, but I don't think I've seen it. Big City Greens, no. Oh, this is Big Hero 6 as well. Looks different. Don't know that one. Big Nate, no. Blasters Universe, no. Blaze, yes, I've seen. Blues Clues. Oh, there's two Blues Clues. Not the Blues Clues and You. I've never heard of that. I have seen Blues Clues. Bluey, I've never seen. I've actually heard good things about it, so I would say I'd watch it. Probably a good, wholesome kids show. Bob the Builder, I've heard of, and I think I've seen a little bit of it, but not enough. Again, it's like if I was with kids, I wouldn't mind watching that. Bobby's World, yes. Bob's Burgers, yes. BoJack Horseman. I've heard of it. I've seen a little bit of it, but certainly not enough to like say I've seen it. It's probably one I need to watch. It's more of an adult show. I know it's been on like Netflix or something for a while, so I just haven't checked it out. Um, all right, Bonkers. Yes, I've seen that. Boy, cat, mouse, cheese, something. Don't know. Never heard of it. Brandy, something. Never heard of it. Breadwinners. Never heard of it. Bunsen is a Beast. Never heard of it. Buzz Lightyear. Seen Toy Story. Didn't know they had a cartoon. Camp Lazlo. Never heard of it. Captain Planet. Yes. Captain Caveman. Yes. Care Bears Old School. I think yes. Care Bears New School. No, I haven't seen it. Didn't know there was. I mean, I assume there would be one. Care Bears are popular. I just have not. I have no context about what the show is now. Carmen Sandiego. I loved Carmen Sandiego, the show growing up. Wasn't a cartoon. They had cartoon elements to it. I did not know there was a Netflix show. It might be cool to watch, but I didn't know it existed, so I'll put it down here. Cars, another movie spinoff. Casper Scare School. This looks newer. I'd never heard of that. Castlevania, I did see. Cat Dog, I've seen. Cat Scratch, I have not seen. Chalk Zone, never heard of. Challenge the GoBots, yes. Chippendale Park Life, didn't know that. I guess it's a newer one. Chippendale Rescue Rangers, yes. Chowder, never heard of it. Clarence, never heard of it. Clone High, never heard of it. Clone Wars, yes. It's two different Clone Wars. One was like a short mini series, which is this first one. Then the other one was the longer running one. I've seen both of them. Close Enough, never heard of. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, never heard of. Clue Club. Looks familiar. Like one of those old Hanna-Barbera shows that I probably just caught it more on like one of the mashup shows, Laugh Olympics or something. So I'll throw it in the never heard of it because I wouldn't know the name if somebody said Clue Club. Cornel and Bernie, no. Courage the Cowardly Dog, yes. Cow and Chicken, yes. Craig of the Creek, no. Curious George, yes. Rocco's Modern Life. I've heard of it, never seen it. Probably would give it a chance if somebody said it was good. Dan versus no. Danny Phantom, I've heard of. I guess I'd give it a chance. Daria, I've seen a little bit. Darkwing Duck, yes. Dastardly and Mudley, yes. Dave the Barbarian, no. Superhero Girls, no. Is that DC though? Yeah. Dead End, no. Death Battle, no. Dexter's Lab, yes, I've seen that. Disenchantment, no. Dora the Explorer, yes. Doug, two Dougs. I do remember this. So I wasn't a Nickelodeon kid. We didn't have Nickelodeon growing up. I could watch it a little bit when I went to basketball camp. Doug was one of the shows, Rugrats, probably a couple others. But Doug, I do remember because they had the Nickelodeon Doug, which had a certain theme song. And then they switched it, and I think it was on like ABC or something later. So I know of both of them. I'm just going to lump them together. I don't think they were all that different. I could be wrong. Somebody could correct me there. I'll keep the Nickelodeon one. It's the original, so I'll just put this one down in like the I'd watch section. All right, Big Mouth, never heard of. Dragon Prince, never heard of. Dragon Tales, I feel I've heard of, but I don't think I'd watch it. I don't know the plot of that. Dragons, it's probably okay. So these are probably How to Train Your Dragon. I didn't know they had shows. I did see the first movie. Drak Pack looks older. Seems somewhat familiar, but again, I don't remember that cartoon in particular. Star Wars Droids. I've heard of it. I'd give it a chance. It's probably terrible. Some of those Star Wars shows don't translate very well, especially the old ones, but I'd give it a chance. Duck Dodgers. I don't know if I know this cartoon. I know Duck Dodgers, the character, and it's probably from Looney Tunes. I don't know that they made it a show. So I would just put this in the like I would watch it section. I might have seen it, but I'm blurring it together with Looney Tunes. Duckman. I've seen a little bit of Duckman. Dumb and Dumber. I do remember seeing a little Dumb and Dumber. Earthworm Jim. Yes, saw some of that. Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Yes, nice little run there. Seen those. El Tigre. Never heard of it. Elliot, never heard of it. Emperor's New School, did not know they made a movie or a show off the movie. I did like the movie though, Emperor's New Groove. Ewoks, definitely know this one. Theme song is kind of notoriously not great, but gets stuck in my head. I don't know the show though. Like I didn't watch the Ewoks show, but I would give it a chance. It's probably terrible, but whatever. Uh, Evil Con Carne. I feel like I've heard of that. I don't. It was one of those I just never wanted to watch or cared to watch. Probably Cartoon Network show. F is for Family. Never heard of. Fairly Odd Parents. I think I've heard of, but I wouldn't necessarily go watch it. It could be a good show. Once again, these might be decent shows. I just never had an appeal. Two of them. Family Guy. Yes, I've seen Fantastic Four. There's four of them. Four of them here. Okay, so I'm thinking this one's the original. The one I'm pointing at is probably from like the 60s or 70s. Then there was a 90s version that I'm familiar with, and then there's probably some newer ones. I'm going to say so this first one looks new, and I didn't know that existed, so I'm going to put that out. I'm not sure which of these is the 90s one. I don't remember what's his name, Herbie, being in it. So I'm going to take this one out. So I will rank those two, assuming I'm getting them right. Fanboy, never heard of. Fat Albert, yes. Fievel's American Tales. Did not know they made a cartoon of Fievel from American Tail and Fievel Goes West. Final Space, never heard of. Fired on Mars, never heard of. Fish Hooks, never heard of. Foster's, nope, never heard of. Futurama, seen. Garfield and Friends have seen. Gargoyles have seen. Generator Rex, never heard of it. George of the Jungle. I don't think this is it. I think I remember a George of the Jungle from Rocky and Bullwinkle. I don't think that's what this is. This looks newer and maybe says new on it, but I'm just going to put it in that. I've never heard of it. The Ghost of Molly McGee. No. Ghost Force. Never heard of it. G.I. Joe. Yes. Galactic something. Doesn't look familiar. Glitch Techus. No, never heard of it. Goof Troop. Yes. Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know that I knew there was a cartoon. I knew there was the movies, obviously. Gravity Falls. I feel like I've heard of. I wouldn't actively go watch it, but it's another one where maybe, if somebody said it's good, I'd put it in the would watch section. Green Eggs and Ham. Not sure how you take that story and make it into a whole series, but they did it. I did not know it existed. Green Lantern. I think I know it existed. I don't think I ever watched it. This looks maybe newer. I don't know. I'd probably just put it in the would watch section. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong Green Lantern show. Gremlins. New Gremlins show on Max. No idea. This one I've heard of. Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I think I've seen it. I've seen enough of it. I'm just trying to remember. I've seen enough of it to remember some of the characters, so I'll keep it in. Grim and Evil sounds familiar. I don't know what it is, and maybe I'm just thinking of Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Uh, I will just say I don't know what it is because I can't say how to watch it or not if I don't know. Gui Estopa? I don't know. Never heard of it. Haley's on it. Never heard of it. Halo. Didn't know it was a cartoon. Hamster and Gretel. No. Happy Tree Friends. No. Harley Quinn. Did not know they made a show or a cartoon. Harvey Girls. No. We're on a bad streak here. Harvey Beaks. No. He-Man. Yes. And then there is another He-Man. I know there's a newer one. I've seen some of the newer one. I don't know if this is the same as that one. But I'll just assume that it is. I've seen both enough to rate it. Hello Kitty. I never understood what Hello Kitty was, but yeah, it is adorable looking. I didn't know there was a cartoon, so it's probably great. Hell of a boss. Nope, never heard of it. Hercules. Didn't know they made that into a cartoon again. Hey Arnold, I've seen enough of, I think. I can't even see what that says. Puffy something? Which doesn't make sense because I thought we were kind of in alphabetical order, but I'll just put that in never heard of. They don't look familiar. Hilda, never heard of. Horseland, never heard of. Hotel Transylvania, I've heard of the movie, have not heard of the cartoon. Housebroken, no. Incredible Hulk, probably the 90s show. And then Hulk and the Agents of Smash. I think I've heard of it. I'd probably try to give it a watch. It's kind of, there's like 10 Hulks. I don't know why, but I'd give it a chance. I Am Groot. Never heard of it. Skipped over this one. HR. Never heard of it. I Am Weasel. I've seen. Go Diego Go. Did not know it existed. Looks kind of like maybe a Dora spinoff. Could be wrong. Looks like an adventurer. Infinity Train. No. Inside Job. No. Inspector Gadget. Yes. New Inspector Gadget. No. Invader Zim. No. Iron Man 90s. Yes. Iron Man New. No. Didn't know it existed. It's Pony. Nope. Never heard of it. Jabberjaw. Yes, I've seen. Jackie Chan Adventures. I've actually seen. Jim. Yes. Jimmy Neutron. Thought it was a movie. Maybe it's a show, but I don't know. I mean, I know of Jimmy Neutron. I don't think I'd like actively go try to watch it. Who knows? Johnny Quest. Yes, I've seen. Johnny Bravo. Yes. Johnny Test. I've heard of. I would not watch it necessarily. Josie and the Pussycats. Yes, I've seen. Justice League Action. Never heard of that. Justice League Unlimited. And Justice League. Okay, I'm gonna put Unlimited in the would watch. I've seen it, but Justice League was just like a continuation. It was like an expanded roster into Unlimited, so I'll just bucket them together. I don't think there was any like fundamental difference other than that. Kablam, never heard of. Camp Coral, never heard of. Kick. Oh wait, it keeps doing this. I keep moving them up. Cap Mikey, no, never heard of. Kip Bukowski. I think I've heard of that, but I wouldn't like actively go watch it. Kid Cosmic, never heard of it. Kid Kai, never heard of it. Kif, never heard of it. Kim Possible, I've heard of it. I don't think I'd watch it. It could be good. It's probably geared more toward girls. Might be a good show though. King of the Hill, yes. Now we're on to the next line. Kippo. Some of these I'm sure I'm missing on what they are. Kids Next Door, I've heard of. I don't think I'd necessarily go actively try to watch it. Kung Fu Panda, didn't know they made that into a cartoon again. Legend of Zelda, yes. Ninjago, I've heard of like the Lego set. I didn't know it was a cartoon. Lilo and Stitch, didn't know it was a cartoon. Interesting. So Littlest Pet Shop, the new one, I would never have heard of. This looks like an older one, and I'm trying to remember if I saw that. I don't think so. I don't think I've heard of it. It might be something if I saw a clip of it, be like, oh, that's Littlest Pet Shop. Little Audrey, never heard of. Little Bear. He looks familiar. I don't know if it's from that or from a movie or something. I will just put it in the never heard of. It does look somewhat familiar though. The Little Demon, no. Legend of Korra. I have never seen. I think it's a continuation of show Avatar. I would give it a chance. I think it's probably set in the future or something. I didn't watch all of Avatar either, but I have seen enough of that one. And I'm surprised that wasn't up there. Maybe it's like Legends of Avatars or New Adventures of Avatar or something down below. We'll see. Hopefully it's in here. Long Live the Royals, never heard of. Lunatics Unleashed, no. Looney Tunes, yes. Love, Death, and Robots, yes, I've seen. Star Trek Lower Decks, never heard of it. Lucy, the Daughter of the Devil, never heard of it. Mad, didn't know there was a cartoon. Could be one that I did see and just don't recognize it from the Mad TV guy, or the Mad face from the magazine. Magic School Bus, yes. The new one. Rides Again, no. I don't know what that is. Marmad. Mega XLR, nope, never heard of it. This looks older, like an older Mickey Mouse show. I don't remember a Mickey Mouse show from like a long time ago, and maybe it's just like a new one that's old school looking. I could be wrong, but most of the things I saw were like either like short clips or something on like a tape. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, yes. Middlemost Post, no. Magiswords, no. Mighty B, no. Mike and Lou, no. Milo's Murphy's Law. Miraculous, no. Mixels, no. Running into a lot here. My Life as a Teenage Robot does not sound familiar. Okay. We are in My Little Pony world. MLP. I know of the original My Little Pony. I've seen it enough, like as a kid, where it was on, in Saturday mornings and stuff, but I don't know if I remember any of it to say I could rate it. But the other ones I've never heard of. So this looks like a newer one. I'll leave the old one in case I start to remember much about it. I remember some of the theme song. That's mostly what I remember, just from hearing it more recently. Monster High, no. Monster Loving Maniacs, no. Monsters at Work, I guess that's Monsters Inc. Didn't know it was a cartoon. Monsters vs. Aliens. I thought the movie was actually kind of funny. Did not know it was a show. Moon Girl, no. Mr. Magoo, yes. Newer Mr. Magoo, I don't think so. Mucha Lucha, no. Murder Drones, no. Adventures of Tintin, I've heard of. I don't know if I've heard of it because of a cartoon or if he was in a movie, comic strip. I'll just say I've heard of it, but I wouldn't necessarily actively go watch it. Ren and Stimpy show, yes. Garfield show, I think I've heard of this one, the newer one. I haven't watched it. I would watch it. I like Garfield. I'd give it a shot. But yeah, I don't think I've seen enough of it to rank it or anything. Callu? Nope, never heard of it. My Dad the Rockstar, never heard of it. My Jim something something. Partner's a Monkey, no. Ooh, what's this? Superman. I don't think I've heard of that. I would watch it, but I don't think I've heard of it. So I'll leave it down there. Lassie, did not know there was a Lassie cartoon. New Looney Tunes. I don't know if this is newer. If so, I definitely haven't heard of it. I'm just going to say I haven't heard of it. Could be that I'm missing one that I actually did watch in the 90s, but most of it was the old Looney Tunes if I did watch it. Freakazoid, yes, I've seen. Oddballs, never heard of. Okay, KO. No. Ollie and Scoops. No. Over the Garden Wall looks familiar, but I think I'm just thinking of something else because I don't think I've heard of it. Pac-Man and the Ghost Adventures. Never heard of it. There was an old 80s Pac-Man show. I think I added that one at the bottom. That was one that I noticed. They didn't have the original. Pantheon. No. Paw Patrol. I've heard of. I wouldn't actively go watch it. It was not a show like I sat and watched with kids, like with my niece and nephew were young or anything. So I don't think I've seen enough Paw Patrol. Pen Zero. No. Peter Pan and the Pirates. I mean, I've seen Peter Pan, the Disney movie. I don't know that I remember the cartoon. I've heard of it. I feel like I've heard of the cartoon being out there. I don't know that I've seen it. I would watch it. Hook is always a great character. Pickle and the Peanut, or the Pickle and Peanut, or Pickle and Peanut, whatever. Never heard of it. Pig, Goat, Banana Cricket. We are getting out there with the names. No. Pinky and the Brain. Yes. Pinky, Elmira and the Brain. I do remember a little bit of this happening where Elmira was added to Pinky and the Brain, which is weird because they were from Animaniacs and she was from Tiny Toons. But I lump it all together. I'm going to lump Pinky and the Brain together. I would watch this. I saw it. I saw episodes with her in there. They were like her pets. But in my head, it's all one show. Maybe there is enough difference, but I don't remember it. PJ Masks, I've heard of. I'd watch it. It's kind of a superhero looking show for kids. They got different personalities, different aliases and stuff. That's cool. All right, Planet Sheen, I've never heard of. Clifford, I think I've seen that show a little bit. Popeye, yes. Pound Puppies, yes. New Pound Puppies, did not know it existed. 2 Powerpuff Girls. I know the original. I've seen the original. Is that how you spell it? The second one's like Power Poof. Was that always Power Poof? But anyway, I will keep the first one and just say I've seen Powerpuff Girls, but I've never heard of the other one. Primal, I've never heard of. Looks newer. Primos. No. Solvers, no. Proud Family, no. Proud Family, apparently it's popular. Proud Family, no. Quick Draw McGraw, yes. Star Wars Rebels, yes. Reboot, yes. I've seen a little bit of that. Recess, yes. Regular show I've heard of. I don't think I'd actually go watch it. Looks like one that could have some humor and stuff that I'd appreciate, but I wouldn't know. Recess, I said yes. Star Wars Resistance, never heard of it. Rick and Morty, yes. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Turtles, did not know it. I've seen the original Turtles show. RoboCop, Robot Monster, no. Robotomy, no. Rocket and Groot, no. Rocket Power, no. Newer Rugrats, no. Old Rugrats, yes. RWBY, don't know what that means. Ruby Chibi? I don't know. Both of them, no. Sabrina, I'm assuming that's the Teenage Witch. It's a newer one I wasn't aware of. I didn't even know there was really an old one. I think I knew there was a TV show, maybe? I don't remember a cartoon. Samurai Jack, yes. Sanjay and Craig, no. Scooby-Doo's, here we go. So Scooby-Doo and Guess Who I've never heard of. Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo I have seen. Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, never heard of. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Yes, saw that. So that's the original. Okay. Scooby-Doo Laugh Olympics. Yes, I remember that. Secret Mountain Fort Awesome. No. Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. No. She-Ra. Yes. New She-Ra. Never heard of it. Sheep in the City. I've seen it, strangely. Sidekick. No. Skull Island. I've never heard of it. It's on Netflix. I'd watch it. Definitely watch Kong. Skull Island. I have to check that one out. All right. Sky Commanders, another Hanna-Barbera I should probably know, but does not ring a bell. Silverhawks, yes. Silver Surfer, yes. The 90s Silver Surfer, probably. Snorks, yes. Sonic, okay. Made that mental note. Sonic. Okay, these look newer. These look like the newer ones. And I lost the other one somewhere in here on the never heard of, I think. Probably just put a bunch of stuff over it and lost it. So I will just do this. I will keep one of these and then throw the other one down here and then just call the other one the 90s Sonic version for my own sake. So this one looks newer. I'll just leave it down here and then we'll keep this one as a 90s version. South Park, yes. Space Ghost Coast to Coast, yes. Spaceballs, did not know they made that a cartoon. Spawn, I've heard of it. I have not seen it, the Spawn cartoon, but I would watch it. Okay, Spider-Mans. I knew we'd have a few Spider-Mans here. So this is the 80s Spider-Man, I think. This is the 90s Spider-Man. Seen both of those. This one I've not seen, whatever it is. New Spider-Man. Spider-Man Amazing Friends I've seen. I don't know what this one is. It looks kind of like Spider-Man animated, but it's not it. The new animated series. Don't know. Maybe it's a continuation. Spider-Man Unlimited I've never heard of. Spider-Woman, I don't think I knew that there was a cartoon for Spider-Woman. Or if I did, it was just like dismissed it kind of thing. So I'll put that one down there. SpongeBob, yes. Squirrel Boy, no. Star Trek Prodigy, no. Star Trek the Animated Series, I didn't know there was a cartoon. Steven Universe, I mean, I knew there was cartoon. Again, some of these I've like heard a theme, but I have no concept of what the show is. I guess with that one, because I have heard of it, I'll put would watch. But literally the theme was the only thing. Steven Universe, I've heard of, I wouldn't watch. Strawberry Shortcake, so there's a couple of them. So Strawberry Shortcake I heard of. I never watched it as a kid. I don't think it appealed to me, so I just put wouldn't watch. Strawberry Shortcake, Strawberry Shortcake, Strawberry Shortcake. A lot of Strawberry Shortcakes. Summer Camp Island, no. Sunday Pants, no. Mario Brothers, yes. Super Y, yes. Super Friends, there we go. This is a newer one. I didn't know there was a newer one. Interesting. Super Friends, the original, yes. Superhero Squad, looks like a Marvel show. Never heard of it. Superman, the animated series, yes. SWAT Cats, yes. Symbiotic Titan, no. Tack, no. Tailspin, yes. Teemo Supremo, no. Teen Titans Go, yes. Teen Titans, yes. Teen Wolf. Man, I did not know that there was a cartoon. Is this, I guess it is older. I don't even remember a theme for that one. The X's, Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts, yes. The Addams Family, yes. Paddington, I don't think I knew it was a cartoon. Rocky and Bullwinkle, yes. Avengers, that does not look familiar. This is The Batman. I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. I thought this was it, but similarly, I would watch that one. Boondocks. Boondocks I've heard of, and I've heard it's a really good show. Never watched it. I'd watch it. The Brady Kids, I don't remember hearing about that one. Casa Grandes, no. Cleveland Show, yes. Critic, yes. Cuphead Show, did not know it was a cartoon. It was the video game, but not the cartoon. All right, we're coming toward the end here. The Flintstone Comedy Show. I'm just going to lump this with the Flintstones in general. It could be different. Maybe this is where like Captain Caveman and stuff came in, but to me it's all the same. The Fungies. No. Oh, this is maybe a 60s version of the Incredible Hulk or 70s. I vaguely remember that. I don't think I saw it, so I'd put it in the I'd watch it category. Jetsons, yes. Ooh, that's a creepy looking show. The Kirlian Frequency. I've never heard of it. Juniper Lee, never heard of it. Lion Guard, Lion Kingish, never heard of it. The Looney Tunes show. I probably saw it. I don't remember it though. The Loud House, never heard of. Flapjack, no. Mask, yes. Midnight Gospel, never heard of. There's the Flintstones. The Moxie Show, never heard of. Neverending Story, didn't know it was a cartoon. We already had Captain Planet. I don't know what the New Adventures of Captain Planet is, and it's probably just a continuation. The new Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo show, I'll just lump in Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo. That looks more like the one I recognize. I do remember Shaggy and Daphne being in it. The Owl House, no. Patrick Star Show, no. Penguins of Madagascar, just movie continuation. Real Ghostbusters, yes. The Robonic Stooges. I remember the Stooges in cartoons, but it's from Scooby Doo, I think. All right, the Scooby Doo show. I think this is where Where Are You, Scooby Doo, or one of the other ones we had up there is just the same thing to me. So I'll put it down here. The Secret Show, never heard of. Secret Squirrel, I've seen. Secret Saturdays, I've not. The Simpsons, yes. The Smurfs, yes. The Snoopy Show, I've never heard of. It's newer. It looks like Apple TV. Another Spider-Man. Okay, Spectacular Spider-Man. Never heard of that one. Three Musketeers. Did not know that was a cartoon. Oh, man. Tom and Jerry. Thinking there was like a 90s version, 80s version in the original here. I don't know that I've seen them both. I kind of remember a newer version. I'm gonna put the newer one in the I'd watch it. I think I've heard of it. I don't know if I ever watched it. And maybe I did watch a lot of it and I'm just associating it as the other one. All right, Venture Brothers. I've seen This Thing I Cannot Read. Gwent something? Gwent Club? No. Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse. I don't remember Mickey Mouse cartoon shows. X's again. I thought we already had that. Maybe a newer one. The Zeta Project. No. Charlie Brown and Snoopy. Another one. I kind of remember the VHS. I don't know that I know the cartoon. I'm going to put it in the never heard of it. Again, probably saw it. Thundercats Roar. Never heard of that. Thundercats, yes. New Thundercats, yes. Tig and Seek, no. Time Squad, no. Tiny Toons University, no. Tiny Toons, yes. Adventures, there's Avatar. Don't know why A's way down here. The Last Airbender, maybe. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is that? Oh, no. The one down there is the one I know. So these two I've never heard of. Didn't we do Tom and Jerry already? Like what? What's the difference? So I don't think this is the one that looks familiar to me. So I'm going to move this one up here. And just move these up here. Tom and Jerry Kids is different. And I do remember Tom and Jerry Kids. Tom and Jerry the show, I'll just leave as that one. Thomas and Friends, yes. Top Cat, yes. Transformers, which I'm wearing my Transformer shirt, so obviously I like it. But that being said, I haven't seen most of the shows. So Transformers animated, I never heard of that one. This is the original, yes. Beast Machines, I think that's Beast Wars. It just continues into another season of like Beast Machines, which is the same show. So I'll just put this in the Would Watch section because I did see it. I'll just lump it in there. Combiner Wars, never heard of that one. Cyberverse, no. Earth Spark, no. Power of the Primes, no. I think this person liked Transformers too, or they just made a ton of shows. Transformers Prime. Transformers Robots in Disguise. Oh, Rescue Bots. Rescue Bots I've seen. I'll leave that. Robots in Disguise, no. Titans Return, no. Some of these shows actually look kind of interesting. I just didn't watch them. I don't know if they're on Netflix or whatever. I might have to look them up. Earthspark, no. Trollkin sounds familiar. I think it's one I just want to watch. Like it was on and I just never watched it. Tough Puppy, no. Tuttle Twins, no. 12 Forever, no. Another Spider-Man, Ultimate, no. Ultra Force, don't think so. Uncle Grandpa, no. Unicorn Warriors Eternal, no. Unikitty, no. VeggieTales, yes. Velma, no. Victor and Valentino, no. Villainous, no. Visions, oh, it's a Star Wars show, no. Wander Over Yonder, no. We Baby Bears, no. We Bear Bears, no. A lot of no's here. Welcome Wayne, no. Whatever Happened to Robot Jones, no. Another Scooby-Doo, lumping them all together. What's new Scooby-Doo? The Wild Thornberrys, I've heard of, but I wouldn't necessarily actively go watch that. Win or Lose, never heard of. Woody Woodpecker. I'm gonna lump those together too. I do remember a little bit of the newer version, and I think it had a different intro. But Wolverine and the X-Men, I never saw. I've heard of it. I'd probably watch it if I had the time to just sit and pay attention. So Woody Woodpecker, I'll just kind of keep it as one because I don't know the difference in my head. Word Girl, excuse me. Never heard of. X-Men, yes. X-Men 97. Again, a continuation of the same show, but the animation is different. I'm gonna lump them together because it is a continuous story. It's fine. It won't impact change. I would watch that. I did watch it. X-Men Evolution. I saw enough of it. I watched a little bit of it. Not much, but a little. Xavier Riddle, no. Zelia, no. Yin Yang Yo, no. Yogi Bear, yes. Young Jedis, no. Young Justice, yes. Oswaldo, no. Phineas and Ferb, I've heard of. I don't think I'd actively go watch it. I think people like that show, so maybe it's worth it. Has Been Hotel, no. Invincible, yes. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, no. 50-50 Heroes, no. Angelo Rules, no. Mr. Bean. I feel like I've heard of it, and I wouldn't actively go watch it. Pink Panther and Sons, I've never heard of. Okay, this is a little like the Tom and Jerry's, the Woody Woodpeckers, where I just cannot differentiate the Pink Panthers, so I'll just leave it as one show. There's a 60s version, 70s version, and a 90s version. And then Carol, the End of the World, no. Star Wars, The Bad Batch, I've seen. Sonic, another Sonic I haven't heard of. Fairly Odd Parents, no. Okay, we're down to the last couple here that I haven't seen. So Stugo, no. And Amazing Digital Circus, no. Okay, these are the ones that I added after. So there's a few. But I think we'll stop the video there and start another one to actually rank. I'll tell you kind of how I'm ranking. But that cleans up the ones that I have not seen.